Hello. I hope all is well. Hope you can hear me. A mic last minute. So kind of weird. Kind of weirded out about that, but let's see if it's still working. I think I'm good. Hope all's well. Hope that you've enjoyed the week of wrestling. As according to the internet, it was bad. Well, not really bad, but people have their complaints. What I'm going to do in this stream, by the way, my name is Will. I'm exposing IWC, and what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the week of build for Mania. I'm going to give a letter grade. I'm going to go through SmackDown and Raw and talk about these builds, feuds, state of it. We'll talk about if it's good or not. Now this list is with these grades are fluid, so it can change. I could give an F right now, and that could be an A later on, because it's kind of like some builds are just starting, so it's kind of not fair to give it a grade. But I'm going to do it anyway. Start with SmackDown and then move on to Raw, because I haven't really talked about Raw that much myself because it's didn't stream after Monday. So SmackDown was ass. Well, was SmackDown ass? Was it good? I don't know. You tell me. I would say it was what was SmackDown? Wasn't it was disappointing. The final angle was solid. Overall, I thought it was kind of disappointing. But we can talk about that in a second. All right, let's start with the world title on SmackDown, which is Cody Drew. Now, Cody Drew, I was complaining about this build before last night. I was saying that Randy Orton, old man, babyface, and babyface Randy Orton is boring. Last thing I want to see is a I respect you, you respect me feud going on for 5 to 6 weeks. So last night they didn't do that. They decided to pull the trigger on a Cody Rhodes heel turn. I'm not going to come on here and complain about, did I say Cody Rhodes? Randy Orton. Randy Orton heel turn. I'm not going to come on here and complain about it, right? After saying it happened, am I? That's correct. I'm not going to. Because it had to happen. I was not about to wait around and watch Randy Orton talk about how he respects Cody Rhodes. It's kumbaya shit. So I'm happy they pulled the trigger on it. Some people say it was too quick, it was too fast. I say no. I say it should have happened. And now we see what comes from it. Now people are complaining about how Cody Rhodes was being booed, and that's a problem. I don't think so. The fans can react. They can react how they want to react. The only time a babyface getting booed is a problem is if you're trying to get that babyface over. New babyface on the scene, trying to elevate, person getting booed, it's not a good scene. But because Cody Rhodes is established, he's established. That's the word. He's established. He's there. He's solidified. He is bulletproof at this point. He can get booed and it's fine. He got booed last week. Not last. But did he get booed last week? Maybe. He got booed last year with Cena. He's been booed before. It's okay. He's an established talent. He's made, man. He'll be fine. I don't care if Randy Orton gets cheered as a heel. I don't care about that. As long as the story is good, as long as the character work and the match is good, I don't care about how the crowd reacts. Cody will be fine regardless. So good. Pull the trigger. Randy's a heel. He destroyed Cody last night. It was kind of funny. Cody Rhodes did a blade job for the moment. Care about that, but I think Cody Rhodes has bled every Mania build since Rock. So Cody wants to bleed. That's fine. I don't need it, but it happened. Now we're off and cooking. The heel Randy. I'm sure Aleister Black is pleased. Now he'll have to come out and explain himself next week. So what grade would I give Cody Rhodes? That's what maybe should have happened. What grade would I would I give Randy and Cody? Because I like the angle, because it was a necessary angle, I'm gonna give Cody right now a B. Again, this list or this grade is fluid, so it could change. Next week it could be a C or a D, for crying out loud. Right now, I'll give Cody Randy a B. Am I wrong? What grade would you give Cody Randy? Good morning, everybody. Cody bleeds everywhere, especially in AW. He always bleeds. I can see Cody heel turn happening later this year. Yeah, I could too. He's been a face for long enough. I think he wouldn't mind being a heel. F. A big fat F to Cody Randy. Why? The turn needed to happen. It happened. What happens? I was complaining about Randy being a face. So I can't come on here and then say, oh, bad WWE for making him a heel. No, I have to say it was the right move. And I'll give it credit where credit's due, because I did not want to see babyface Randy for 5 to 6. So I'll give it a B for right now. We'll see how it goes. I trust that creative will give Cody and Randy the juice to make a compelling story. Hope. You would think so. Okay. Now let's move on. The women's world title, SmackDown. That would be Jade Cargill versus her Ripley. Now, this is a feud that the IWC wanted. Don't let the IWC fool you, okay? The IWC wanted this match. I didn't. I made it clear I did not want it. But you guys wanted it because you did not want to see Tiffany versus Jade. Okay, now you got Rhea Ripley, Jade. Rhea Ripley and Jade clearly have no chemistry. I doubt Rhea Ripley wants to be in this damn feud, because at this point it's pretty clear that Rhea Ripley wanted to be with Io Sky, but that ain't happening. So you got a Jade Cargill feud. Neither of these women are great on the mic. It's not news. Rhea Ripley has said it herself. She said herself that the mic work is not her best attribute. We can support her game. We're doing that. The writing is not compelling. Last week, Jade Cargill said that her arms are bigger than Rhea Ripley. This week, she said she's gonna whip her ass. But there's no actual story here of substance or intrigue. It is two women who are at the top, who look great, that want to fight each other because Rhea Ripley won the chamber. It's an obligation. Woman B won the chamber, therefore she must face woman A. That's the story here. So, with that being said, with a bunch of aura offs, that's all it really is, a bunch of aura offs, no actual storyline or compelling promos, what grade would I give Jade Cargill versus Rhea? Give it an F. A big fat F. I have no choice. I have no choice. It's interesting because right now, Jade Cargill is now, I believe, building a faction. I called this back in December. I said that it's clear and obvious. They're building up. So, by the way, this is a cool shot for Drew. I'm saying Drew. Because in my mind, Drew should still be champion. For Cody, Randy, there's a cool shot here. But anyway, I called back in December. They were building towards a Jade Cargill faction. One with B-Fab and Michin. I think it's appropriate. And I think that's what they should do. Give B-Fab and Michin something to do. Instead of walking around and catering, they're going to be Jade Cargill's backup. And I think it makes a lot of sense for them. Get along in real life. Freaking Michin was biting Jade Cargill's ass at the freaking house shows, for crying out loud. But to get along, Jade was freaking licking Michin's face last night on SmackDown. That actually happened. Jade licked Michin's face, so they get along. Okay, so I called this back in December, early December. I said, obvious that BFAB will turn, right? I think Michin should follow. Last night on SmackDown, saw find it. Saw not Michin, but you saw BFAB and Jade Cargill having talks in the back. So this is where it's headed. Ripley went to go talk to Michin and say, Michin, good job showing some fight out there, showing some aggressiveness. BFAB said, I'm not trying to hear that. Get out of here. You're getting the Michin, BFAB, Jade Cargill faction. So will that help the feud? Probably not. But I think it's appropriate for Jade Cargill because I think she needs something. I don't like this reign so far. So giving Jade Cargill some women to boss around and to work with might help her reign. And I've said time and time again, it'd be weird if Jade Cargill dropped the belt at her first PLE. First PLE defending that belt will be at MANIA because they're invested in her, because they are tied to the hip to Jade Cargill. They've invested time and money and energy, presentation, all that stuff. I'll be shocked if Jade Cargill lost her first PLE match defending the belt, especially at Mania. So she got to retain. And how do you retain? Protect your golden goose, Rhea Ripley? Have Jade Cargill's faction interfere. So I believe Michin and BFAB will get involved and Jade Cargill will retain at WrestleMania. But that being said, currently the feud is getting an F. Now, some of y'all wanted this to be Bianca Belair. Wanted Bianca Belair to be dealing with this nonsense. Bianca Belair, if healthy, has chemistry with Jade Cargill. They have better energy, better vibes. I'm not trying to watch Bianca Belair eat with Jade and have BFAB Michin screw her. That wouldn't have been my vision for Bianca. So it's Rhea Ripley. I wanted to be Tiffany, but you wanted Rhea Ripley, so don't complain, okay? You get what you want. Jade, Rhea Ripley, Michin and BFAB interfering. Don't complain now. Jade can't wrestle or talk. I will say that her promos have been disappointing, but it's not all her fault. The words are not written by her. I will say the delivery has not been great. So we have two mic workers that aren't the best with Rhea and Jade. And to be quite frank with you, it's been kind of eye-opening, and it's been kind of exposing them both a little bit. But yeah, women get by on aura. In Rhea Ripley's case, she's a great wrestler, has great physicality and all that stuff. So she's better off. But yeah, Jade gets off on Jade gets along or gets on her aura, in her presence, in her size, more so than might work. And we will see. I don't think Rhea Ripley's heart is in the story. There is no story though. I agree with you. On top of that, there is no story. What is the Jade Cargill Rhea Ripley storyline? Story is person A won chamber, therefore she must face champion B. That's the storyline. Fortunate. What's like happening right now? Okay, that's that story. So I give Cody Randy a B for right now. Again, it's fluid, so it can change. I give Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley an F. It's fluid, it can change. Let's move on to the next storyline, or the next build, which is clearly Tiffany Julia, the women's mid-card belt. So we saw on SmackDown, very, very weird way, they announced that Tiffany wants the mid-card belt. They had Julia and Kiana James announce to the world that Tiffany wants the belt. Before Tiffany does, It's almost like they showed the two segments out of sequence because they wanted the Tiffany segment to go right into her match, but that should have came before the Julia Kiana James segment. It was weird. That's the match. Clearly, Julia versus Tiffany. Last night we had Tiffany facing Kiana James. It's a cute match. We had a lot of interference. You got Chelsea Green out there. You got Julia out there. A lot of shenanigans. Ultimately, Tiffany, was it DQ or did Tiffany win? I think Tiffany got the pin. But that's what we're getting. Right now, I almost want to say TBD when it comes to a grade, because just started. But I'm happy for Julia. That is clear to me she's getting on that Mania card. So Julia has not had a PLE showcase yet. She's getting one at Mania. So let's credit WWE. Let's give WWE some credit here. I do think Julia will be on the card, which is good, because if she wasn't, I think her morale would be low. Because remember, she wanted to be on the SummerSlam card. That didn't happen. I think morale for Julia would be very low if she missed Mania. I'm happy she'll be on the Mania card. I'll cross our fingers, but I think it's going to happen. She'll face Tiffany. If I'm booking it, again, I give the grade an F, or not an F, a TBD, just started. I won't give it a grade. If I'm booking it, I have Julia retain, then I have Kiana James turn at the end. You have Julia win, and then Kiana James turns on Julia to close the segment. So now you have Julia more as a face, Kiana more the heel, and split up at Mania as a big moment. I think that makes sense to then have Kiana James chasing Julia. That's what I would do. Julia retains. Kiana James returns on her friend. We're cooking after Mania. That's the women's mid-card on SmackDown. How about the men's mid-card, which is Carmelo Hayes? At this point, I think it's clear we're doing Ilya versus Carmelo Hayes at Mania. Great match. Show stealer. Right now, the build is not really that compelling. I'll probably give it an F or a D. You have Ilya Dragunov not wanting to face Carmelo Hayes for whatever reason. Carmelo Hayes is wondering why he's postponing the match. We know, real reason, behind the scenes, because they want the match to be at Mania. But on TV, it's not making much sense what Ilya's doing. Anyway, that'd be a good match. I won't spend that much time talking about that because it's clear. Ilya, Carmelo Hayes, banger at Mania. We're cooking, right? Julia's booking has been awful since main roster. I wouldn't say awful. She's been a mid-card champ. Asuka has been misused since coming back. Kyrie been a background character. We'll talk about Kyrie and Asuka in a second. We go to. Okay, so what else? Oh yeah, the men's tag team. I'll be honest with you guys. When the MFT versus the Wyatt Six stuff comes on TV, I blank out. I don't pay attention. I'm not invested in story at all. I know last night that Wyatt Six won the match, whatever, and then Cross grabbed the lantern, then got it back. I don't care about this stupid lantern at all. It's stupid. I don't care. What's the tag match? I don't know. It's gonna be Wyatt Six tag match at Mania. I don't care. It is what it is. Honestly, I would put that on the Friday before Mania. I would not put that match on Mania. Put it on the SmackDown before Mania. Whatever you're doing with the Wyatt Six and the MFTs, that can main event the SmackDown before Mania. I don't care about that on the Mania card. Don't. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, who cares? F. Whatever. Let's move on. So in that case, only great grade, or only good grade I gave for SmackDown is Cody Randy, and that's because of that Randy heel turn. Kind of rough. Let's see if Raw is any better. Let's move over. Well, before I go to Raw, I do believe we're going to get a Sami Zayn Trick Williams match. at Mania, and I do like what's happening with Trick and what's happening with Sammy. I like Sammy's segments with Cody Rhodes. I like the segments with Trick Williams. So I'm good with that. I do believe we're gonna get that one-on-one match. I would give Sammy versus Trick Williams B. That's a good grade. That's another good grade. I like the character work with Sami Zayn. But that's not bad. We're also getting the Drew McIntyre Jacob Fatu story at Mania. Not how on this. Honestly, the match I want to see for Drew is Nick Aldis. That's more interesting to me. I feel like that's where the actual feud is. Actual tension is between Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre. I prefer that. Fortunately for Jacob, I don't love the Jacob Drew storyline at all that much. I just don't. Was it even Drew that attacked him? Because that had not been confirmed. We know who attacked him? Because I thought it wasn't Drew. We're getting Drew versus Jacob, but I prefer Drew versus... I give Drew Jacob a D or a C. Not that interested in that match. Give me Nick Aldis versus Drew. That's what I want to see. Drew has been completely jobbed out to hell, where it affected his character permanently. Can't take bro serious anymore. I'm fine. $3 lantern. I'm fine with his character. I just don't love the direction for him. Jacob, Drew, I don't care about that match that much. I just don't. I think the actual feud is between Nick Aldis and Drew, but it is what it is. We're not having that match. We're getting Jacob versus Drew. Whatever. No, whatever. And I think that's it for SmackDown. Those are our matches. Cody, Randy, Rhea, Jade, Julia, Tiffany, Carmella Hayes, Ilya Dragunov. That's 4. 5 is Sammy, Trick. 6 is Drew, Jacob. And unfortunately, I think the MFTs will probably be off the show. So no MFTs and Wyatt 6. Fortunately, I think the other match will be Jelly Roll Company. Now, I'll be honest, when the Jelly Roll segment came on TV, I muted the TV. I don't know what happened during the segment. I don't know what they talked about. I don't care. I muted the TV. To be completely honest with you, I don't know what happened in that segment. I do believe we're getting some type of Jelly Roll segment. We can stick that to SmackDown since he had a segment with Miz and with Kate Wilson. We'll say that's a SmackDown story. No interest, below an F in my eyes. Okay. I'll talk about the women's tag title scene last because it's kind of a dual show program. Let's talk about Raw. At the top of the card, Punk Roman. I'll give it at a B, B+. Writers are clearly invested in the story. The segments we're getting are good segments. The one 2 weeks before with Roman and Punk was solid. The beginning of the damn story where Roman said he hated him, that was a solid program. The program CM Punk had, or the segment he had with the Usos, when he said, say you're sorry, that was solid. So I can't complain about the storytelling here. Am I invested in the match? Not really. But the programs and the stories they're telling here, the segments have been solid. They've been good. You can tell they have a lot of focus in them. Getting a lot of focus from creative. So I'll give it a B. It's my favorite match. Am I excited about the part-timer versus the old man? No. But it's okay. It's okay. I'll give it a B. Next, let's talk about women's world title picture. Raw. Liv Morgan versus Stephanie. This is probably the storyline I'm most invested in. Storyline I think is they're doing the best work with, in my opinion. I feel like they actually hate each other. I feel like there's actual animosity. I'm liking Liv Morgan in the story. I'm liking Stephanie. Liking the direction of talking about their upbringing and how they got into the business. Stephanie coming a different route than Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan come through the PC. All that's working. I like what they're doing. I like the vignettes. I like what they're doing on social media. I'm just enjoying that a lot. I think that could steal the show. I believe in Liv Morgan to have a great match with Stephanie. So I'm not at all worried about that match. I'm excited for it. I'll give that build right now B+, or even an A. I think they're doing a good job with Liv Morgan Stephanie. So that's a positive for Raw. The IC title for the men. Right now, Penta is the champion. He'll probably be facing not Dom and Finn. I feel like that's a separate story. Who is Penta facing at Mania? Well, I guess that's the answer to the question in terms of the grade. I can't give it a grade at all. I'm not even sure who he's facing at Mania. Who is Penta facing? Grande Americano? Oh, Grande versus Unmasked Gable? That'd be cool. Triple threat? Tag Gable, Grande Americano, and Penta? That'd be a good match. Can't give it a grade though, because there's no build yet. So that's to be determined, that build. But Penta will have a banger, I'm sure. How about the women's mid card? I do believe we're probably going to get a stipulation match between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Monday, AJ Lee will be facing Bayley. And Becky will get involved for sure. Will Jessica Cara be the ref? Who knows? But I do believe AJ and Bayley shenanigans from Becky Lynch. Right now, the Becky Lynch AJ story, it's okay. Probably give it a C. I think Becky and AJ are capable of better work to hype up the match. I'm hoping we're gonna get some good stuff. I trust Becky Lynch to deliver on the mic and from a character standpoint, so I'm sure my grade will go up. Right now, I'll give AJ Becky a C. See what happens with Bayley. We'll see how that goes down. I'll give it a C. Can't give Becky the IC title again. Well, that depends. Is AJ Lee going to be working after Mania? Because if not, she's dropping the belt to Becky. So you know. Just so you know. So we'll see what happens with AJ post Mania, but I think she's probably going to drop it because I don't think she's going to be working that frequently past Mania. Or she'll win the belt and go away. Hold it hostage. That's possible. So I'll give it a C. Becky and AJ are capable of better work. See if they can deliver. I do believe AJ Lee has been very nervous on the mic. She felt very like it's been a while since she's been in the ring cutting a promo. Still trying to feel things out, get used to being on the mic. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, Alex Williams, the new lead writer of Raw, has some good shit for AJ and Becky Lynch, but we'll have to see. How about the Usos? I'll give a damn. Not really. The match is probably going to be the Usos versus division, depending on what happens with Braun Breaker. If Braun Breaker can get back, it'll be Logan and Theory versus the Usos. If not, we have to do something weird, like have Brock versus Seth or Logan Paul versus Seth. So let's assume that Braun Breaker gets back. Let's hope it'll be the Usos versus Logan Paul and Theory. Now, in terms of the build towards that match, has it been good? I think the Usos have been kind of just there. Our division is now kind of dealing with Seth Rollins now. So that's a match. I give that build a D. That's probably being nice. Probably there's an F. The Usos feel stale. They sure do. They put the tag belts on them because they didn't want Jay or Jimmy in the singles picture. Putting them in a tag match at Mania just makes a lot of sense to get them out of the way. Kind of check a box. Can't leave Jey Uso off the card, so let's put him in a tag team championship match. That's but I'm not really excited about it. Don't love the direction for them. D or F, honestly. That build. What else is happening on Raw? Dom versus Finn. I'm enjoying this. I love the Judgment Day dynamic. I'm gonna give Dom versus Finn a B. I like the heel turn. Not the heel turn. I like the turn for Finn Balor. I like to beat down. That was all good. Getting Dom versus Finn. Will the Triple H title be on the line? Probably not, but that'd be fun if they did put it on the line. Yeah, I'm enjoying story. I'll give it a B. Let me clarify. I'm gonna give Liv Stephanie an A. So Liv Stephanie is the highest grade. I'm gonna give Dom Finn a B. There's talk about Asuka versus Io. That's the thing I'm about to move on to now. I do believe the one untitled women's match will be Asuka Io. Last year it was Jade Naomi. This year it will be Asuka Io. That leaves some people saying, what about Kairi Sane, right? Here's my thought on that. There's two ways you could go about it. You have Kairi Sane turn on Asuka on a Raw sometime before Mania and then do triple threat, but I'm not sure why Kairi would be fighting Io. So the triple threats are easy when there's a lot of history in terms of animosity. And three entities are kind of separate already. And it's easy when there's a championship belt being chased. In this case, you have someone like Io trying to break Kairi away from Asuka. Io is the white meat babyface. Asuka is the dirty heel. Io trying to help Kairi. So to have Kairi turn on Asuka, but still say, I want to fight Io, it feels weird unless there's a belt. When there's the belt around, it's easier to say, yeah, I'm done with you, Asuka, and now I want to be champion. Therefore, I have to be in the belt. I have to be in the match. Therefore, no matter what, right? But it's kind of harder when telling the story they're telling right now. I think the move, Kairi Sane's fans will be upset. Fans will be upset. I think the move is Asuka versus Io. With Kairi being the fulcrum that has to make a decision. Will she finally stand up to Asuka or not? If she doesn't, it'd be like the Sami Zayn storyline where Sami Zayn with the bloodline, how he kicked Kevin Owens. I don't think it was a kick actually, a low blow with the hand. He low blowed Kevin Owens at War Games. There was a time where he had to make a decision. He chose to stick with the bloodline. Later on, at the Rumble, he turned on Roman. You have a situation where Kairi Sane chooses to stick by Asuka at Mania, then turns later, or she turns at Mania. Don't believe the triple threat. Seeing a storyline for Kairi Sane, because you have to then justify why Kairi Sane wants to fight Io in a triple threat match. Easier to have her be persuaded or finally convinced by Io to break away, stop being abused. So I'm going to say Io versus Asuka. Then Kairi had to make a decision. Either way, that storyline is a B. I like the story. There's plenty of segments, plenty of history. People want to pretend like that match doesn't make sense, but it does. A lot of history, a lot of segments they can use. When they go back, you know how every Mania build they have a YouTube video showing all the segments? When they put that together, you will see a long video of segments and interactions and interpersonal dynamics between the three, and you'll see, wow, there's a lot here. Going back to freaking summer of last year, Io, Asuka, Kairi stuff goes all the way back to that. Goes all the way back to that. So I'm not worried about that from a storytelling perspective. They can kick that off at any point and have it cook. I'll give it a B. That's my B. Things good. Io versus Julia sounds intriguing. It sounds intriguing on paper, but there's no actual story. No story there. It's no different. Tiffany Julia. Io wants the belt. That's it. There's no actual story there. Oh man, it just dawned on me. Cobb gonna have Penta/Finn tag against Dom/Mania. That'll be a mistake. That'll be a mistake. Io pinning Julia in a tag match, and Julia yelled at her face backstage. She also yelled at Alexa Bliss. That's her thing, she yells. But it's not a storyline. Io is a member of the Raw roster. I'm so annoyed that they did that. I'm annoyed that they put Io on SmackDown and had that segment, because all it did was feed into the IWC, a match that was never happening. Io is a Raw superstar. Not going to get that match. It was never going to happen. I'm just annoyed that they even did that, because it just annoyed me, because now the IWC can't get it out of their heads. The match was never going to happen. Match for Io is Asuka. That's the direction. History, there's segments, there's everything. That's the move. Quicker you guys accept that, sooner we can move on with our lives. Okay? Story, okay? So, Kairi, Asuka is a story. Called long-term booking. That was sarcastic. What, Io pinned Julia and it's, oh, okay. I agree with you, King. That I agree. I hear you. WWE can't run back-to-back women's triple threat matches and have Io win both. Well, it won't be a triple threat in my mind. It'll be one-on-one. And in my opinion, you can book Asuka to win. Who's to say Kairi Sane will actually turn? You have Kairi double down on the abuse because she's so lost that she helps Asuka anyway. Asuka wins, and then later on, do the Kairi Sane turn. Depends on what the plan is for the future. You can have a storyline where Kairi helps Asuka. The entire crowd thinks she's finally going to turn. She's finally going to turn, and she doesn't. Asuka wins, but then she turns later. That could work fine. That could work fine. It's all in the execution. Okay. What else is happening on Raw? Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, probably. There's no story there right now. TBD on story. Probably open challenge kind of thing. So it is what it is. It's a match with no actual storyline. Hopefully Obafemi wins, because I'd be pissed if he doesn't. We're going to get Obafemi versus Brock. Hoping we're going to get Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. Now, all of the Seth Rollins stuff on Raw, Mask Men and the shenanigans on this past Monday Night Raw, that's all fine. I didn't hate the segment as much as other people did. A lot of people hated that segment on Raw. All the Masked Men running around like crazy people, trying to confuse the audience and confuse the talent. That wasn't the worst thing to me. No folks hated it, but I didn't think it was that bad. Seth Rollins stuff with the Vision, Mask stuff, showing up at the Chamber and stomping Logan Paul. All of the build for that Vision encounter with Seth Rollins has been solid. Not the best stuff. I'll give it a C. Seth versus Braun Breaker happens. If Braun Breaker can somehow get healthy, I'd be happy for Braun and Seth. That's the match. Seth Braun is the match. I don't want to see Seth Logan Paul or Seth Austin Theory or Seth versus Brock Lesnar. It should be Seth versus Braun Breaker. That's a match. Hoping Braun Breaker can get back. Hopeful, but I doubt it. If it's Seth Brock, I'll be annoyed. If it's Seth Braun, then good. I'll give it a C. But right now, I'll give the build a C. See what happens. Leave Paul Heyman's in the hospital, right, for getting stomped. So, see what happens next. You think Julia could go to Raw if she loses the title at Mania? I feel like the transfer window happens before Mania, but they could do it after Mania as well. So I don't know. I think so. Probably not. I don't see the reason to. Right now with AJ and Becky on Raw, I don't see the rush to put Julia over there. So I'm gonna say no. She probably stays on SmackDown. I think Seth versus Logan Paul. Seth not even cleared to wrestle. That's true. Not cleared. Hopefully he could be cleared by mid-April, but that's not guaranteed. Injuries really messed things up. The injuries really messed things up, man. Really did. Really messed things up. Am I missing something on Raw now? That's probably it. Got Roman, Liv, Stephanie, Becky, AJ, Penta versus Grande Americano, whatever. Or have Usos versus probably the Vision in some way. That's 5. Oba, Brock, Lesnar, Dom, Finn. That's 7. That's it. Oh yeah, now go to the multi-brand match, the women's tag match. I believe we're going to have 4 matches. Sorry, Raquel. Sorry, Roxanne. 4 matches. 4 tag teams. No Judgment Day. Bayley, Lyra, Charlotte, the Irresistible Forces, last but not least, the Bellas. 4 tag teams. Raquel will be with Liv Morgan as her presence on the Mania card. Her presence will be trying to help Liv Morgan, but she will get involved some way, right? So that's that. Alexa, Irresistible Forces, Bella Twins, Bayley, Lyra. On SmackDown, I enjoy the angle. Thought it makes sense to have Bella show up, have the Bellas get involved. The match to kind of set up the 4-way. So it was a DQ finish. Makes sense. I like how Lash and Nia look strong closing the segment. I like that they had Nikki Bella take a bump like that, a strong bump like that, that leg drop that looked kind of rough. I'm enjoying that stuff. So I'll give it a B. I think they're going to do well with this build. A lot of star power with Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, the Bella Twins, Bayley, a lot of star power. So I think they'll be solid here. I think the Fatal 4-Way makes sense. How do you book Raw tag team getting involved? I don't know. Maybe you had to have Lyra, not Lyra, but you're going to have Lyra and Bayley interact with Nia and Lash on Raw. Maybe Nia and Lash go to Raw. Maybe the Bellas show up on Raw. Lash and Nia show up. That brings Becky and Lyra out there. Because I don't see why you'd have Lyra and Bayley go to SmackDown. That makes sense to me. So we have to have Nia Jax and Lash actually travel like they're supposed to. I do believe on Raw, we're going to get the Bayley AJ match. Once that match is over, Bayley and Lyra will go into the tag team title reign, the tag team title chase. So we'll let that match end first. We have to have the AJ Lee Bayley match go. When it comes and goes, then they can focus on the tag team build for Lyra and Bayley in that. So we'll see how Monday goes. Because that match needs to end in a way that allows Bayley to kind of move on. Bayley can move on, and the focus will be her and Lyra chasing those tag titles. But again, to just repeat one more time, four teams: Bayley, Lyra, the Bella Twins, the Irresistible Forces, and Charlexa. Do you see Lyra costing Bayley this Monday? No. I think Lyra and Bayley are going to win the tag titles at MANIA. So no. This is an accident. Lyra versus Bayley, no. No. I think the Triple H move, this screams Triple H. Full circle moment. Last year, it was supposed to be Bayley and Lyra in a tag match, but Becky took Bayley's spot. Now, coming full circle in Vegas the next year, Bayley and Lyra win the tag titles. That's a Triple H move. A full circle move he likes to do. Five Bayley and Lyra winning the tag titles at MANIA. Then they defended against the Bella Twins maybe at the summer. Then the Bella Twins win. But no, I don't have Bayley and Lyra against each other yet. They will win the tag titles. We'll come full circle. Full circle from last year. That's some shit Triple H would do. Bring it full circle. Full circle with Bayley and Lyra. That's it. Those are your 14 matches. Unfortunately, one of them will be Jelly Roll. Must accept that nonsense. Must accept it. But hey, 6 women's matches. Liv, Stephanie, Jade, Rhea Ripley, tag title match. Julia, Tiffany, AJ, Becky. 5, last one, non-title, Asuka, Io. Women tag matches. Hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray. All right, that's my spill. Now I'll look to the chat, answer whatever question you guys have. See how it goes. Let's hear this. Kairi Sane was the one that reached out to Rossy Ogawa to tell him that Angel Hayes was interested. How crazy is that? Kairi Sane is the one calling up Rossy and saying, "Hey Rossy, I have talent here that wants to go over there." It's kind of cool. She was a Triple H mole. What's that supposed to mean? She was a Triple H mole. How are we saying a mole? Prediction for the Cinderella Tournament Finals. Let's see the bracket. I believe the last four is Rina, Yu, Masaki. That's one match. And the other one is Hanan versus Aya Sakura. I'm booking it. Rina versus Hanan is the final. Rina winning. Booking it. I hope. Rina wins. He leaves. Hate. Probably won't happen. That's what I would do. He has outgrown that faction. He's done enough to show that she should be a bigger deal. I think it's time she leaves that faction. I just think it's time. Rina can move on from that faction. It won't happen, but it should. But I have her beating Miyu, winning the entire thing. Well, let me say I have her. That's what I would do. Haru Okada, the man's weird. Who knows what's going to happen? I would have her win the entire thing. But who's to say? Who's to say? Can't trust Haru to do the right thing. Just can't. How are you saying it's a talent scouter? For Rossi, you're saying? Maybe. That'd be cool for her to do that. I wonder how she met up with Bill Hayes. I know she was in the UK for NXT. I didn't know the relationship. Interesting. Look at that. Trips dropped the visual for Jade Rhea Ripley. Check that out. Are you excited? Not really. Anything else? Eneco's expiration date for the future belt is March 25th. Dropping it to. Give me B-Fab versus Rhea Ripley. Why? Why would you want that? There were rumors about 3 New Japan male wrestlers leaving and allegedly signing with WWE. Who Evil and what's his face? They would probably factor into the MFT Wyatt 6 shit. Like, who knows what's happening with that? I'm not sure what's happening there. That's true or not. Like, I know they've been rumors about them leaving. Are they going to WWE? It will be Noah. We're not sure yet. Here's a bracket. See the damn thing. Hanan, Aya Sakura, Rina, Yu Amasaki. We'll see what actually happens there. It should be Rina winning. I would do. Who knows? Who's to say? You know what? That'll be the one thing that pissed me off. Aya Sakura won. That'd be the one thing. Like, I can understand pushing Hanan again, even though she already won it. I can understand you want to elevate Miyu. Aya Sakura wins this entire thing. No offense. No offense. But I think it's kind of ridiculous. Why are they pushing Ayaka so strongly? I just don't understand. Funny because Victoria Yuzuki was in that Stardom class. She's the best of them. In that, she's the best of them. But oh, you mean she's gonna win it Oh, me, she's gonna beat she's gonna beat Hanako. Okay, gotcha. That's believable. I believe that. Yeah, they love them. They love Aya and Sakura. I get it. They love them. I understand. Sayaka Karara is very endearing. She's likable. I get it. She's played the comedy role. She's a lot of good stuff. She's very endearing. I'm just like, okay. I mean, there's other talent I think is more deserving of that type of spotlight, though. I wonder what Azumi thinks right now. I wonder what she thinks. Curious to know what she really thinks about what's going on right now with the booking. Truly. Think gonna do a loser leaves faction. Yeah, I guess. People forget about the Mania builds. What matters is the match at the end of the day. That's true. That's true. Doesn't matter how bad the Mania build is in the moment. Match is great. They don't care about that. I.e., Bianca versus Sasuke. Bianca versus Sasha, not Sasuke. I.e., Bianca versus Rhea and Io. Match is great. They don't care about the build. Rhea versus Charlotte Flair. Build wasn't great, but match is great. That's all they care about. As long as you nail the match, you'll be fine. That match is bad. Oh boy. We remembered for an awful, awful build. But yeah, if the match is good, they're not going to care. But you have to deliver. Have to deliver on the match, though. That's for sure. Anything else? Deliver. What about it? Rara versus Kamitani, Aya's 10th defense. Keep going. At this point, I don't see who beats her. If they pull the trigger on Saika Carrara, I would be shocked. I don't know who beats her. People have said that Rhea Ripley's heart may not be in it, but I can't remember the last time a SmackDown Women's Title match feud that was good at Mania. Anyway, I agree with you. I agree with you. Whether Rhea Ripley is in it or not, it's irrelevant. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think Rhea Ripley's commitment is the issue with the build. Here's Day was not supposed to happen. Here's Day that was not the original plan. Can't hide that. And they're not doing a good enough job creating a narrative that is compelling enough to make folks care. At least me. Rhea Ripley is tired of talking, apparently. Let's see what she's tired of talking about. Can't hear it. Let's see. Gotta change. I try now.
Talk a lot of smack. Where's the fighting, Jade? Exactly what I thought. You're not a fighter, you're a talker, you're a little yapper, like a little chihuahua, aren't you?
Congratulations.
I'm a fighter. And you can't fight me. Put some respect in my damn name next time you mention me. Otherwise, I'll make you respect me.
Aura Queen, Rhea Ripley herself. And that's a solid promo there, solid delivery there. But with this much aura, you don't need to talk that well, do you? Obviously not, because she's popular as hell. So that's given, right? Given. Yeah, the build for Charlotte Rhea was not good. Doesn't matter because they landed the plane. How long actually land the plane? No matter how good the up, Rowan. I do like the angle of Rhea saying somebody talked too much because that was pretty much everybody to her in 2023 who was in the Judgment Day. True. I think. Nice. We have a big AAA show. Who is La Flamer facing? I want answers from you guys. It will be a SmackDown or Raw mid-card person, I believe. Who's La Flamer facing tonight? Lady Flamer, who's she facing tonight? Who is she facing tonight? Raquel? That'd be cool. Honestly, if it's Raquel, she should probably lose. So maybe it shouldn't be Raquel. I think she's going to retain here. I don't know why I think that, but I think she's going to retain. If it's Raquel, it's probably a loss. Unless her faction helps her in a faction. But I'm excited to see who she faces. I'm hoping it's not a boring person. Probably won't be Bayley because Bayley has to face AJ. So to have her lose that and lose to AJ would be kind of weird. So it won't be Bayley. I'm guessing it'd be somebody on the Ivy Nile level, probably. Someone on that level. If it's Raquel, that's a good get. She's at the top of the mid card, I think. Raquel, then that's really good. I'm not convinced. Probably in the Ivy Nile lane. Jordan Grace would be a good person if he got injured. So she's off. Be Michin, I don't think. Somewhere in the Ivy Nile Michin level, I think. But if it's Raquel, again, I love that. If it's no NXT, she said clear. Raw, SmackDown. It showed people from Raw and SmackDown. They showed Maxine in the segment. They showed Maxine, Jordan Grace, showed Bayley. But she said Raw or SmackDown. That's the level we're talking about. Mid-card, Raw, and SmackDown. Roxanne was healthy. Oh, it'd be so good. But she had that little had surgery to remove like a 9 mass for her body. So I'm not sure she's healthy and ready to go. But if she was, that'd be cool. It'd be cool to see Roxanne down there. I don't think it'll be her either. Coming off of surgery, I don't think it'll be her. But yeah, I can see Ivy now. I'm gonna guess it'll be from Raw. I'm gonna guess Raw. Ivy now sounds like person will probably be. Lyra would be cool. You're not facing anybody on Monday Night Raw. I'd love to see Lyra. That'd be a banker. So between Raquel, Lyra, Ivy now, who's more likely? I'd say Ivy more likely, then Lyra, then Raquel. A big show tonight. Triple A. Flammer. Also going to have Dom Mysterio. I believe it's a live show. I believe this is live, so would have been spoiled already. It's a live show, I believe so. See what happens. Penta will be there. Dom, Ingo, Open Challenge for Lady Flamer. Then we have this Fatal 4-Way to determine who will be facing off against the winner of Dom versus Ingo. Big show. Looking forward to it. Looks like it looks a little bit good, and I'm totally surprised they had a different highlight of the background of WrestleMania 42. And I think the WrestleMania 41 title cards are different to WWE. WrestleMania 42. You're saying you prefer the new layout? Santos has to win? I think so. But I believe Grand Americano and the original Grand Americano, they kind of cancel each other out. I do believe they're going to push Santos Escobar. I agree. I think Santos wins. I think Dom wins because if Dom loses, he has to leave Triple A. That'd be stupid. So Dom wins. It'll probably be Dom versus Santos coming up here. Penta does something. I don't know what he's gonna do. And I think she retains no matter who she faces. By hook or crook. Finn will cost Dom. Well, then Dom can never. The stipulation is if Dom loses, no more Triple A. That's a dumb business move for WWE. Dom retains. Might attack him after the match, which would be smart. I think Dom has to retain. Yeah, she held it for a long time. I don't think the first open challenge match will be a loss. I don't think. That's like a big name. Like a Bailey showing up, the loss will probably come. There's a big name showing up. I saw the official news that Rain Leverkusen and apparently Rain Leverkusen, that's official. But also Nikki Blackheart is also signed reportedly. Those are two really good signings for WWE. Really good signings. Especially Rain Leverkusen, who I think will be a massive star for WWE with the quickness. Very likable, great look, good in the ring. I think she'll be very, very popular very, very quickly. Super high on Rain Leverkusen. This is Rumen. Did I say Rumen? This is a woman who has not gotten that call from WWE yet. She's gotten tryouts, but it did not make the cut yet. Will it happen eventually? Maybe. But Riho, in the UK, Rio, I don't know how you pronounce that. Either Rio or Rio, not been signed. He's somebody I thought would be signed by now, but he went with Rain Leverkusen, Blackheart. Now we'll see if Nikki Blackheart loses. What's the match here? Here it is. There's a title match coming up here. So she had 3 belts. Dropped one the other day to Orton. Now she has another match coming up here. Dropped that belt too. Clear she's been signed. Right? We'll see. I retweeted it, so now I can't find it. That's so annoying. Now I can't find the retweet. I quoted it. Here it is. Here it is. So if you drop this belt, then it's a wrap. Pure and obvious. Has a title defense in a week. In a Tucker. Loses here. Triple R women's division on life support. Yeah, it's kind of similar to Noah's women's division, except not as bad. Noah doesn't have a women's division really. And freelancers that they bring. Right? Noah's current women's champion is Maya Watani, who's signed to Marigold, right? Not that bad, but the women's division is lacking. Yeah, you gotta sign some more women or invest in the division somehow. MLL women's division is stronger and in a better spot. Maybe they need a more of an infuse of women from the main roster and NXT maybe for a little bit. Right now there is no women's division in AAA of substance. Like 5 names. Like 5 names. Nobody on the rise, right? Nobody on the rise. And more names. Like how the WWE is starting to build up the hype towards the road to WrestleMania. What's your potential suggestion on Tiffany versus Julia for US title? My suggestion? That should happen. I think Julia should win. Connor James should turn heel immediately after the match. Did you see the tag team match they're doing with Jelly Roll? I muted the screen. So, my TV. During that segment, I muted the TV because I don't care. I saw Kit Wilson, I saw Miz, I saw Jelly Roll. I don't give a shit. It'll probably be one of the matches. I want to know what the metrics they're using to justify Jelly Roll on the card. There's something they're seeing the numbers that shows that Jelly Roll's presence is a net positive for them business-wise. If that's the case, then fine. I want to see it. Show me the numbers. Show me the evidence that Jelly Roll is helping your product right now. Because I'm not convinced. No offense to the man, but I hate when celebrities take Mania spots. Those are coveted spots that talent is getting. Now, to be fair, it'll be Jelly Roll and company. By company, I mean other talent from WWE, like The Miz and Kit Wilson. It'll get on the card that way, so that's fair. So in that way, I guess it makes sense. Shoko Nakajima turn heel in Shoko Pro. Here's Shoko Nakajima, who's a great wrestler, by the way. Great wrestler. Her heel turn, apparently. Grab him to turn on his... Oh, heel turn. He attacks who? Shoko turn heel. Look at her looking directly into the camera. Nice acting there, Shoko. Okay. There's so much wrestling going on. Can't keep track of it. You just can't. Vanessa Hutchins was in attendance at SmackDown. Good for her. steel cage match on day. Tatum and Izzy Dame. No, it has no women's division. Yep. DHC belt is basically a Wrestle Universe belt. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. First champion was actually Koki Amare, which is interesting. Then it went to Kamiroha. Kamiroha lost it to Mayu. They really wanted to have the belt. She's gonna have it for a long time. They love her holding that belt. Speaking of Mayu, her, Komomo and Tori Uzuki lost the trio's opportunity. I'll say it, opportunity. They challenged for the belts morning and lost. And then Natsumi Suzuki challenged for both her belts. Challenged Mayu for both of her belts, the fly belt and the GHC Women's Championship. Mayu was very disrespectful, by the way. She's like, I'm not sure she deserves that opportunity. So small, I could crush her. Like, I'm not sure she's worthy of that. People even interested in that? Talking down to Natsumi, you'll probably get that match. She said she accepted the title match. She'll do the match, but she said she did not respect me at all. Challenge for that belt. It's kind of like, she's like, are people excited for that belt? Is she worthy of that opportunity? Oh, I guess I'll give it to her, but it's not an interesting match. I could kind of hurt her. It's hilarious. Now, Natsumi Suzuki can wrestle her ass off, by the way. She's a good wrestler. Funny how she treated her post. Really? You? Yes. I guess I'll defend my title. Gave him a B. Oh yeah, by the Orton heel turn, I'll give it a B. It was solid. I can't complain because I wanted it to happen. I did not want to see boring babyface Randy Orton. So I can't complain when they actually pulled the trigger. I'm happy it happened. We'll see what happens. I don't care about Cody Rhodes getting booed. Not a newcomer. He's an established talent who is made. So if he gets booed, who cares? Eddie Morgan showed up in Margot and had a good performance. I think she is one to look for in the future. It's a standout. You can tell, like, I think I'm very good at projecting forward. With her height, her athletic profile, her look, she's going to be a star. If I'm a promotion in America like a TNA, look at these talent, you project forward, you reach out early, because it's obvious what's going to happen with her. She has a look, she's a taller girl, she's athletic, she's going to be a star. So just reach out now and get the move on when it comes to the booking, because you're going to be a star. It's very easy to tell who's going to cross over and be crossover stars. Maddie Morgan will be a star. Buy the stocks now. 18 years old, she can wrestle already, she has a look, she's athletic. Just, pull the trigger now. Pull the trigger now, is what I say. For TNA, pull the trigger. Or AW and WWE make a move. Make a move now. But they won't. They won't. Anyway, got a good debut in Marigold. What else? I feel like Marigold move is a good move for everybody who went there, right? Ozilla was the first international star to go over there. Got popular, showed up in AW. Now she's wrestling for Stardom. Unfortunately, she got injured. That helped her career. Mala Grace went over there, had a showing in Marigold. Now she's in TNA. Zeta Steel, of course. People know Zeta Steel. The Marigold had a showing. came over to Evolve, a WWE ID program. Now she's in AEW, working at Ring of Honor. I feel like the Mari Gold pipeline has worked out for everybody. Same will happen for Maddie Morgan. She'll go over there, have some matches, grow her profile, come back over. Bookings, will it be AEW, WWE? Maybe, but she'll get more exposure. Definitely get more exposure. So I think the Mari Gold move has worked out well for everybody. Except for one person, I think. There's a woman by the name of Tank. Went over there and wrestled with Bozilla. Haven't seen her since. Besides her, pretty much worked out for everybody who went over to Mari Gold. Can't leave. Who can't leave? What will be Fab Michin? What will be Fab Michin they do for their careers? Get them on TV. Get them in a faction, a high-profile faction, where they have promos and segments, and it's better than being in catering in the mid-card. People keep underestimating the power of a good faction. Being in a faction is better than not being in a faction. I'm telling you. Roxanne Perez and JD McDonough. Imagine JD McDonough without Judgment Day. Probably floundering around backstage. It is better to be in a faction. And for NXT, look at Lainey Reed. It's better to be in a faction on TV in segments with personal dynamics, having promo segments and backstage segments. It's better to be in a faction. B-Chin and B-Fab will be better off with Jade Cargill than to be backstage walking around doing nothing. Faction are always better for mid-card talent that need time on TV. Alba Fire, working with Secret Hervis. What would Alba Fire be doing without Secret Hervis? Factions are a net positive for the talent. Do you think there will be a failed cash-in Money in the Bank winner this year? Probably not. Not for the women. Probably not. Kenny contacted Maddie about Ring of Honor debut. Faction equals exposure. Agreed. That's what I'm saying. I'm interested to see Maddie Morgan join TNA Wrestling like Myla Grace. It could happen. I think she has a lot of upside. Do you hear rumors that Chris Statlander deal is coming? I didn't see that. I saw some Chris Statlander tweets, but I'm not sure what's actually happening with her contract. If I'm Chris Statlander, there's an opportunity to leave. I would gamble and leave, honestly. That's just me. The biggest problem I have with Chris Statlander is her promos. She can improve that, her character work, then she can have a future in the WWE. Bigger girl, Triple H loved the bigger girls, athletic, talented as hell. She can work on her promos and her character work. She can take off in WWE for sure with her size and athleticism. But she has to work on that. I think Anna Jay will be popping up in NXT in the next couple months. We'll see how that goes for Anna Jay. Smart move by her, I think. Being in that structure of the PC, being around all that those rings in the PC, have all that ring time. You don't have to worry about going to the indies. Got all the work you can have right there in the PC. I think it makes sense for Anna Jay. Big time. We'll see what happens with Chris Statlander. I don't know if her contract is actually up. That's actually true. I don't know. I doubt she leaves. She feels more like a Willow Nightingale type of talent, where Willow is happy where she's at. She's signed. I think Chris Statlander not love her run. There's a difference. She's similar to Blake Monroe, who did not like her run. Blake Monroe did not like her run. AW. That's not why she left. She's going to leave regardless because WWE was her dream. By the way, Maddie Morgan says her dream is WrestleMania. So, sorry, Tony Khan. Maddie Morgan's dream is WrestleMania. So was Rain Leverkusen. That's her dream. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Money in the Bank is so far away. It is. It's freaking past SummerSlam now, which is a smart move. It's a correct move to move Money in the Bank to after SummerSlam. Do you think Momo Watanabe returns to Stardom this year? What was her injury? I don't remember what it was. What was her injury? Hopefully. He goes back to Hate, which will probably happen. I won't really care that much, but he returns and turns on Saya Kamatani. That'd be great. But hopefully she's back. She's a great wrestler. I'm a fan of Momo, so hope all is well. Hope all is well. Is he lost to Dynamite 5 weeks in a row? Not 3 weeks in a row, not 5, but I could be wrong. I have Mayu in the lead for Female Wrestler of the Year so far. Still early though. If you asked me in January, I would have said Hazuki. Right now, Female Wrestler of the Year. This is much easier back when I was keeping track of the best matches of the year, which I'm not doing this year. Female Wrestler of the Year in 2026 was Suzuki for me. Now, Ayu's not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. I'm not sure. Much easier when I was keeping track of the matches, best matches to do this. Not this year. Maybe still Hazuki? I think Hazuki's up there. I think Mayu's up there. I think for Stephanie's is having a good run right now. Yeah, those are probably the three. Probably three. Mayu, for Stephanie, Suzuki. Nobody in WWE right now. Nobody in AW right now. Yeah, they're probably the three. Kendall Gray, that's a fair shout. Kendall's been killing it. I think because she's been wrestling and Evolved, that'll probably put her stock down, but that's not really fair. But probably what's going to happen. Let me see something real quick. I can forget something. Let me see Mayu Watani's year right now. Mayu Watani matches 126. Let's see. He won against Takamiya Roja for that GHC big match. He defeated Trios tournament matches. Been all over Magic Monday Magic for Noah. She faced off against the Great Sayaka. Noah. Yeah, that's fair. I'll probably still say Hazuki. She had the match coming up again this weekend with her CMLL Japan belt. That's how I call it, the CMLL Japan. We have another banger coming up here. Yeah, it goes. Victoria Zuki been having a good year, sure. Bond still a thing? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, it is, but not in my mind. It isn't. Yeah, I'll say Hazuki, Ayu, Stephanie. They've been having good years. Zuki. Victoria Zuki's here. Let's see. He did Shoko, title offense, defeated Chikagoto. Yeah, Mayu's having a better year, so there's that. Whoa, look at Cody Rhodes looking like all hell broke loose. Any other questions? That's hella visual. That's one hell of a visual. I'll give him that. Well executed. Curry has 2 defenses, so that with so far with IWGL belt more than her EP. Curry dropped her strong belt to Winza. That's all I'm thinking about right now. I guess she had a good year so far. Beating Saya. Right? All year. So she's up there too. Sure. Beck Windsor. I don't know. Like Alex Windsor, I mean, her husband or her boyfriend, whatever it is, he's running Wrestle Queendom booking. Put the belt, well, not he can't force New Japan to do anything, but it is funny that Alex Windsor wins the belt on a show where her man is booking it. Kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, beat Athena. Alex Windsor, Shuri beat Athena. Beat Aya. Yeah, she's having a good year. Shuri's up there. Athena and Saya are 2 big wins. That's up there. Shuri's having a good year. So yeah, Shuri probably jumps Persephone. So Shuri, Hazuki, Ayu, they're all having good years. What's your idea for Julia versus Io at Clash in Italy? And that match isn't happening. Match isn't happening. When is that match actually? When is Clash in Italy anyway? Or like, I know you guys think that Julia has some type of connection to Italy. I'm not convinced the WWE cares. So that show is on May 31st. I would not be surprised not on that card. I see her facing Jordan Grace, someone like that. It depends on what happens with her reign. Will it end WrestleMania? I'm not convinced the WWE cares about her Italian connection. Regardless, if Rhea wins or loses at Mania, she needs to stay on SmackDown. Why do you think she needs to stay? Is it me or are WWE trying to turn Kiana James into Bianca Belair? If they're doing that, she would have won the Rumble. She'd be booked much stronger than she is. Kiana James isn't booked nearly as strong as Bianca was. Nowhere as strong. Jade getting a faction, so when Bianca comes back, she has some people to go, yeah. Let's hope Bianca comes back soon. Right now, I think it's more about Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair will have to go up against B-Fab and Michin. I believe that's the match for Jade Cargill. Big match will be Charlotte against Jade. Charlotte being a big time babyface at this point. That's more the direction. More about Charlotte Flair. Bianca Belair, we don't know what's happening with her finger. She'll be back. Charlotte Flair is the move for Jade Cargill after Rhea Ripley. That's the end game for her. Because we don't know what Bianca... I'm not putting Bianca Belair into anything right now. I just can't. It's more about Charlotte Flair. Rather than... Rhea has nothing left on Raw. Has Rhea Ripley faced Stephanie Foucault? I don't think so. We're going to get call-ups as well. So we get Fatal Influence on SmackDown or Raw. We get Soruka on SmackDown or Raw. We get a transfer window. Like, there's stuff to do. Stuff to do. For Rhea Ripley. Maybe they rekindle the Io Sky Rhea feud. We do Asuka Rhea Ripley after Asuka defeats Io. If that happens. There's stuff to do on Raw. Again, no Stephanie Rhea match that's never happened before. I want AJ Lee to at least have 4 defenses. 4 is a lot for a part-timer. 4 is a lot for a part-timer. But that option is like, I don't know the type of storyline built for Julia versus Io, which could see it either it's on Raw or SmackDown. Say that again. You gotta get one defense and you gotta like it. I'm gonna get one defense and like it. Who? Jade or Julia? Who's gonna get one defense? I think it's too soon to have Julia versus Io. It'll happen eventually. The match will happen eventually. Triple H is a long time. Italy? Okay. Yeah, probably. Probably, honestly. You'll get the Bayley feud. That'll happen with one match. You go right back to Becky Lynch, probably. Julia Io Sky, that's something that will happen down the line. Triple H isn't in a rush to do stuff. It takes his time. For better or worse, he takes his time. I'm not really worried about when that match is happening. It could be next year. It could be this year. Long time booker guy. I don't know. We haven't even got Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley on the main roster one-on-one. They faced off a lot of times. They had a lot of face-offs. Never got that one-on-one match between Bianca and Rhea Ripley. Been waiting and postponing and waiting, and now what happened? Bianca's injured. What happens? We wait a long time. It can happen. Bad shit happens, and now we will. Who knows when we're gonna get Bianca Rhea Ripley? Who knows? Delay. Actually, no. Match doesn't happen. Look at Becky Ronda Rousey one-on-one. Could have been happened. Did it? No, because they thought they had time. We have time to do that, right? Hey, Ronda, we have time. No. I was so happy when Rina beat Sayaka. I was worried. I was worried going to have Sayaka win this match. Rina pulled through and got the win. I was so happy. No offense to Sayaka. I'm coming around on her. I'm coming around with Sayaka Kara, but I was happy that Rina beat her, for real. Yo, overpushed. Arguably the best wrestler in the company. I wouldn't say she's overpushed. That's a good question. If the WWE did a PLE in Japan, what's the biggest match they could do with Japanese talent? At this stage, Probably Io Julia. One-on-one is probably the biggest match because it never happened before, and there's intrigue there. For my personal taste, still Io Asuka in a ring, but in terms of intrigue and like what's going to happen kind of thing, Io Julia would probably be the biggest match they can make. I think. Nakamura versus Io. Okay. Shinsuke versus Io. Funny. Overpush with no title match at Mania. No point there. Non-title, right? All right. 15 more minutes and I'm out. That one. That's totally cool and interesting. Again, battle out Bianca Belair on WWE. Let's see. I'm going to think Julia versus Asuka will be a hard-hitting match. Agreed. The WrestleMania watch party ban has been lifted. It never happened to begin with, but okay. Happy it was lifted. What else? If I had to guess what the Backlash Tampa Bay card would be, that'd be too hard. I don't know. Hard to predict. Maybe like I have to know the result of the match to book that. I have to know the result of Mania to book that show. I'm not sure. Can't do Julia versus Asuka at Backlash because Julia's on SmackDown unless you're saying she's gonna move to Raw. That's different. Maybe Asuka Kyrie at Backlash. That makes sense. Assuming Kyrie Sane turns, do Asuka versus Kyrie at Backlash. That makes sense. Io had back-to-back Mania matches and long title reigns every PLE and 2020. Io is overpushed and overexposed. Stop watching wrestling with your feelings. Overpushed. You're saying she's on TV more, on the show too much. What's the cap for talent, would you say? How many PLEs is too much? Let's say there's 20 PLEs a year. How many PLEs be too much for a talent? What's overpushed? What's overexposed? Curious. Cody Rhodes overpushed and overexposed. Rhea Ripley overpushed and overexposed. Curious your thoughts on that? It feels like Tony Khan only pushed blonde white women from stardom and not actual Joshi. Correct. Tony Khan prefers a particular aesthetic. That is Caucasian Europeans. When it comes to pushing talent from stardom, right? Tekla, Blake Monroe, so on and so forth. Like Alex Windsor. This is how it works. When's the last time you've seen a Joshi come over there and have a lot of success? Have Haru Shida. But besides that, she's been on Twitch now playing games. You know where to be found, right? So he is not that high on pushing Joshis. That's just, maybe it's a promo thing. He wants his talent to be able to talk. Mike, I don't know. You have to ask him. You have to ask why he does not like to push Joshis. I don't get it. What are they complaining about? I don't see it. What's the issue? They're saying there's something off about this picture. I don't see what it. I'm missing it. What's the issue? WWE really? Really what? What's the problem? With the edit, what's talking about the eyebrow? Is that what they're talking about? Not, I don't remember how our eyebrows look. Do not have that arch there? Is that what he's saying? I'm not sure why that's, I don't care. Tony Khan doesn't push women in general. That's true. If your name ain't Mercedes or Tony Storm, we push his Tekla. Like Tekla. That's about it. Io Sky was not on every PLE last year. She wasn't on Backlash, Night of Champions, any Bank Clash, Paris. Money in the Bank. Yeah, and Sheeta got the push because Kenny Omega had Tony Khan's ear back then. Okay, he doesn't like Joshi's. That's a reality situation. That's a reality situation. Any last questions before we wrap it up? Gonna be a good AAA show tonight. Part of making a great wrestler is the struggle, but when someone is booked to never lose, or Io's lost plenty, she lost plenty, or only lose due to massive interference, the stakes disappear. We already know the ending to the match. It's okay to know the ending as long as the journey's good. I'm not saying it's always good to know the ending. For example, you watch a superhero movie, you know the bad guy's gonna lose, right? But it's about the journey and storytelling, right? So not so much the ending being known, it's more about the actual storytelling, narrative being good, right? But yeah, the stakes is more about, if the story is lackluster, then yeah, it's gonna be a problem if the stakes is kind of given. For example, Finn versus CM Punk, there's no actual stakes because the outcome was known, and the program was clearly a filler feud, which is a problem, right? I agree with you for the most part. I agree with you for the most part. You're not wrong, but I'm more focused on the actual storytelling leading up to the actual final match. But yeah, I agree with you. If the outcome is known, storytelling and the character moments better be good. Because if not, then you're just wasting my time. So you're not wrong. Mina Shirakawa is never going to go to WWE. That's a wrap. He's locked in AW. The man put Sari on Ring of Honor. Yeah, he sure did. Sure did. Tony Khan, Mercedes, Ospreay wants Azumi so bad. Io Sky going to make the call and break their hearts. Azumi, I do believe she's going to be. I think AW is in her ear. I do believe that's probably the move for her. I think Starlight Kid is more likely to go WWE than Azumi. I think Azumi probably end up in AW. I think her and Sherry are more leaning AW if I had to guess. I think Starlight Kid, my dad could go WWE and have when that time comes. But who knows? I do believe Azumi will probably end up in AW. And I do believe he wants them. Will they get an actual push in his company? I don't know, but I do believe he wants Starlight Kid and Azumi, probably. Ospreay is probably doing all he can. Probably doing all he can to get them. Meanwhile, Bushy Road standing back doing nothing. Maki Ito, I don't see in WWE either. I think Maki Ito will stay in Japan. Tony Khan doesn't like her. Wanted to go AW, but AW were not interested. I don't think WWE would be interested in her as well. I think TNA might, but I don't see her in WWE either. So it's probably gonna be Maki Ito in Japan going forward, or maybe TNA, but I doubt it. I don't see her in WWE or AW. So Maki Ito, Japan, stay there. Sai Kamatani, Japan, stay there. Sari, at first I thought she might go to WWE, but now I think it's Japan, stay there. Sherry, AW, Azumi, AW, Kid, Sherry Yamalka, WWE. Yeah, that makes. Before I have it. How AW moves is why Rossi didn't want to work with them. Rossi, yeah, he sure did not want to work with her. That's true. Tony Khan was upset with him for a while. So he was trying to keep AW away from his talent. He thinks because he had some type of agreement with WWE. I don't think that's it at all. I just trust Tony Khan. Not like he's working with WWE that much. You don't see a bunch of WWE talent. You don't see a bunch of Margot talent working with. He just didn't trust Tony Khan. Period. It's not about WWE. I see. I'm sure. All right. That is it for the stream. Do me a favor, hit like, subscribe if not subscribed, leave a comment for the algorithm. Watch Triple A tonight. Should be a good show. WWE filed trademark for Bullhausen, Girlhausen, and Kidhausen. Out of control. We'll see how that goes. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.